Hello everyone, this is Ishan Mohan from Bibliomaniac Cinephile, and today we're gonna just discuss about the newly released trailer of Jagame Thandiram, a Tamil movie, which stars Dhanush, directed by Karthik Subbaraj. Now, it's been a couple of days, I think 3 days since the trailer of Jagame Thandiram released, and it's been around a couple of weeks since they teased this movie for the very first time. And it's safe to say that fans have been pretty much anticipating for this movie's release for the past few months, also in the theaters and the big screen. But because of the current scenario, Karthik Subbaraj and the crew has been forced to release the movie on an OTT platform, and they've chosen Netflix. And I have to blatantly put this: the teaser and the trailer didn't really stand apart for me, and that's the best, and that's a positive. The reason being that Karthik Subbaraj never really gives away a lot about his movie before people watch it. He doesn't really. He just teases it. And that's what a teaser is supposed to do. But his trailers at the same time doesn't really give away the story. You might get a gist of what he's trying to convey through the movie and what the genre is going to be, but you never really get the essence of what the movie is about through the trailer. And that's what I love about Karthik Subbaraj. And for me, Karthik Subbaraj as a director is an amalgamation of Quentin Tarantino and David Fincher. And the reason why I'm mentioning Dave, he's a big fan of Quentin Tarantino himself, and he said this in a ton of interviews, and you can actually see it because in the trailer, right before the last shot, you can see Dhanush pointing his gun towards James Cosmo, and you can literally see his adversaries pointing gun towards him, and it looked so much like a scene from Kill Bill. And you can pretty much say that Karthik Subbaraj has probably considers Quentin Tarantino as his idol, right? But the reason why I mentioned David Fincher was because every Karthik Subbaraj's movie has a hidden secret in the second half of the plot. I haven't watched this movie, but people have told me that Pizza was an amazing movie, and it was the second half wherein there was some sort of twist that just popped out of nowhere and jump scared the audience. And I feel like this could be prevailing in all of his works, and there's a high possibility Jagame Thandiram is no different. And the whole movie means the world is a huge puzzle, so I'm very excited for this. And after watching the trailer, I really can't break it down to you because there's really not much detailing in it, and I can't say much about what this movie is going to be. But I can say that there are so many elements that has been embedded into this movie. And probably one of the most exciting aspect of this movie is the fact that James Cosmo, a Game of Thrones actor and a veteran actor who is so renowned and venerated in the Hollywood industry, is working in the Tamil industry. That itself is a huge boost to this project, right? And the fact that he's playing a negative role says a lot about his work and his devotion towards acting in general and filmmaking in general. Now, this movie consists of James Cosmo and Aishwarya Lakshmi and a couple of other actors like Joju. And now Karthik Subbaraj has this a similar combination of actors that he chooses in every single movie because he puts his trust on them, and that is probably the reason why he doesn't shuffle a lot along with his cast and cast selection the whole process, casting process. Doesn't really mess around with it. Now, this movie talks about immigration. You can say that there is a bit of, not a metaphor exactly, but you can actually see there's a scene where Dhanush has a conversation with the lead actress Aishwarya Lakshmi, who is apparently a Sri Lankan Tamil and who is a singer, and you can make it out by the way she's speaking, her accent and her slang. And the moment they're having this conversation, and the conversation is about how Tamil people are not just from India or Tamil Nadu in particular. And there's another scene in which James Cosmo and is talking to a person and saying that we don't need any more immigrants. And he's also in a meeting. And it's going to be a gangster thriller. It's going to be a thriller drama, right? So it's going to keep you on your toes. And this is a movie that definitely needs to be out there in the theaters. But the fact that there's really no other option to go with, we have to watch it on a small screen. But the good thing about Netflix is that the color grading that they do during the post-production is very vivid, and needless to say, it's very colorful and joyful. And I think that's what defines Karthik Subbaraj as a director, and that's what defines his movie as a project, And Shreyas Krishna is the cinematographer of this movie. I'm really not sure, but I need to look it up. But that guy has to provide a lot in this movie, and I can see that with Dhanush's costuming and the way he's color graded those particular costumes. And there are these really dark shots, and at the same time there are these shots which has this really vivid, bright colors in it. And it's going to be it's going to be an exciting package. And this is a perfect movie for a person who loves action thrillers, action dramas, and gangster thrillers. And I think it's going to be a dark comedy sort of a genre. There's really no particular genre attached to this movie, and that's what I love about Karthik Subbaraj in general. And I'm pumped up to watch this movie. In the very last shot, the very last scene, Dhanush, he says this in Tamil, but what he means is that a Tamil gangster in London at last, which is kind of a reference to an old movie and a dialogue from that old movie, which is a very famous dialogue and kind of even blown out of proportion sometimes. And it's a reference to that, and it's a different rendition of that particular dialogue. And you can also say that Dhanush is probably a gangster who has been picked up by George, the Malayali actor, who might be the bigger Don. And he's picked up Dhanush from Madurai, because they do mention Madurai in this trailer, or teaser probably, and sends him to London to fight with thugs who work under James Cosmo and prevent immigration. This is my speculation, and this is what I think could be possible, but it's definitely not this simple. There's a lot that goes into it. And that's pretty much it. I'm very excited for this movie, and the BGM and the score is being done by Santosh Narayan again. And I have to tell you this guy is a bloody genius, man. I just can't wait for this to come out. So if you like this video, like, share and subscribe, and do mention your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, and do let us know any other movie if you want us to review, or any other trailer that you want us to react or break down in general, in particular. As always, thank you. Have a wonderful day. We're definitely going to review this movie after watching it. And fingers crossed, I just want this movie to be amazing, man. Because I feel like the Tamil industry finally is getting some sort of limelight that it deserves. Not just the Tamil industry, but also South Indian film industry as a whole. The whole, this whole fraternity of South Indian film industry. Because I feel like they do not shy away from, trying out unique and different stuff that has never been done before in a movie. And in a way, they tell the story in a very unique or different manner than the other film industries do. and that is what I love about this. And at the same time, they embrace the culture, not just culture, but the ongoings, that the stuff that goes around, goes in and around in that place. And that's what I love about this industry. So I'm really happy for them, good for them, and I really wish this movie does well and gets the ratings that it deserves. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye.